Hey peeps, I know several of you have asked me what happened to that fancy dancy scrap box that you and Captain America were putting together. So I thought I would take this opportunity to give you the grand tour. Dun, 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 dun. Let the unveiling begin. Okay, I'm going to set this down and see if it works. Now, I want you to note that, maybe I should get on this side. I want you to note that it is hardly ever like this, all rolled up, even though that's one of the things that the big selling points. But I'm lucky enough to have a large craft room, so it's usually wide open. So what does it look like wide open? It rolls on its very nice feet. So we'll roll it that far, and we'll roll it that far. There you go. And you can see the main compartment where you put all the scrapbook papers, what I put there. So let me flip this around and kind of give you a look. Okay, so here's the main compartments there, and you can see that each of these is large enough to hold a bunch of, I can get maybe 4 or 5 books of scrapbook paper, 12 by 12 in there. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16 of those. Does that look right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 16 12 by 12s to put the paper in, just in the center compartment alone. And then there's these other ones here in the center where you can set the shelving anywhere you want. I have set this one kind of tall, which is what they recommended, and that's where I'm keeping some of my taller books that I like, and also where I am keeping all of my templates, what am I trying to say, for my silhouette machine. Cutting mats, I guess. Then I've got vinyl stored there, just some various and sundry things in that origami thing, and then more paper and some tools, a crimper back in that area. There are also these 3 drawers, so I've got pencils and pens and tools in that one. This is kind of all silhouette related, and this one has my one sewing tool. I haven't sewn in a long time. But if I ever do, I have a seam measurer. Okay, so then your machine basically goes on that shelf. And it goes on that shelf because at the back, that's where the hole is for the electricity. That's the only hole for electricity. So you need to run a PDU, a power distribution thing there, so that you can plug in whatever you need to. And so I've got my glue gun in there, and I've got my silhouette machine in there. And then if you reach all the legs, just fold down just like that, right in front of the silhouette machine. And if you look underneath there, there's more storage. So you can see my sewing machine, and above my sewing machine is where I keep my stash of tissue paper for shipping, and there's some Christmas ones in there too. And then over on the left is some fabric and a few more shelves that I haven't even filled yet, so I see I've got lots of room for new stuff. If you want to, now I'm going to see if I can back this up this way. If you want to use your machine, then you really have to pull it out onto this table to give it enough room for it to slide back and forth while it's cutting. So that's kind of nice. And the other nice thing about this little area is I bought the crown up here at the top, and ta-da, it's got a great light. So I will sometimes hold my chair right here, and with this guy back here, This is a great place to do iris folding. Okay, so now unrolling the sides. So you can get panels that go here that are magnetic, I think, but I didn't get those. So these are just the particle board. Okay, so open it up, and this will go, push that back. This will go all the way flat like this if I needed it to. And if you, when you unroll the other side, all the way across, it's 9 feet. So you got to have 9 feet if you want to keep it open. You don't have to keep it open that far. You can set it up. My floor's not even. You can set it up like this, for instance, if you only had that much room, and just work right here. But I'm lucky enough to have a spot where it will unroll all the way. So there's the center panel, and here is one of the main panels. This is the one on the right. And you can see that they've got these notion drawers here next to the center panel. And then they've got these shoebox drawers here that go all the way down. These are fabulous. You can get so much in all of those. And what's cool about these drawers is that they're about 12 inches deep, same as the scrapbook paper drawers, but they've got these little dividers in them. So you can make the internal walls whatever size you want. There's a spot here for 1, 2, 3 dividers, so each thing can be into 4 different sections if you want it to be. So you can see I've got big stuff like punches, and then I've got little stuff like magnets, and you can see I've got lots of extra room. There's a bunch of these that aren't filled yet. So I've got plenty of room for expansion. I'm able to keep all my long strips of paper for iris folding in these notion drawers. And the same thing is true for the shoebox size drawers. They also have dividers, you can see. So this is my tape and glue. I'll never get that back in there now that I've got my hands full with the camera. But you can stick those, and you can have up to 3 sections in one of these shoebox size drawers. So that is nice. Okay, over on this side, it's a little different. So as you can see down the center here, next to the center panel, there are more notion drawers, just like there are on the other side. And you can see here's one that has the 4 compartments I was talking about for seeds and stuff. But over here, instead of shoebox size, there are 12 by 12 drawers. So again, more room for scrapbook paper. I've got some patterns down there. They're just wide enough for vinyl and stencil material and so on for the cutting machine. And then they also come with these inserts. You get 5 of these inserts that I'm using for beads that I use when I make the paper ornaments. So 5 different drawers, and each drawer can have 15 sections. So that's what, 75 more little notion areas to keep things. And then you can see there's room for punches, and it'll hold your medium-sized punches and small punches. I put my big punches over here in the shoebox size drawers. And I use those little notion drawers for, you know, like, speaking of punches, punching paper for flowers and other things like that. So those are the center panels. So then back on this side, if you look on the far end, what you have are these Velcro areas. It comes with all of these plastic containers. They're zippered, and you can put whatever in them that will fit, and then they will Velcro to that wall behind them. And each of these, or most of them I should say, come with elastic in them, like this one, so you can put pens or paintbrushes or things like that to keep them in. You can see I've got a lot of them that don't have anything in them yet. Then on this side, on the very far ends, they've got these little areas for paints. And you can see there's a plastic guardrail that runs across here. I don't know if you can see it very well. Maybe there's a little better. Plastic guardrail that runs across there to keep them in. And there, it's I don't know, maybe 2 knuckles deep. So a couple inches, 3 inches maybe. And just big enough for your paints and anything else that the guardrail can catch. Like I've got some more punches there. I've set some gesso and stuff like that on its side. There is a divided, I don't know what to call this, but a divided storage area here that you can put, I put my paintbrushes in, and that's my Mod Podge brush. And then down below here, there's another guard, so you can put more paint, but it also has 6 hooks so that you can hang things like, so far the only thing I found to hang are scissors, but there you go. And then these two down near the bottom have a dowel rod, or that comes with extra guards, so you can use it if you got paint. If you're a painter, you can use those. I used mine for some washi tape that I've got, and you can see I've got one that's empty, don't have anything in that guy. And then I've got some extra storage bags at the bottom that also Velcro on, like the ones that are on the right side. So that is basically the whole shebang. Let's see if I can get a picture of it all the way open. Ta-da! If you remember, I showed a picture of a big stack of stuff that was over there. So my room is still full, but now it's a little more organized. And one of the things that I was able to do was to bring a lot of my books up here, empty those shelves right there of notions and things, and bring my books so I don't have to run over to the garage all the time to grab a book. Also, you know, one of the big dilemmas that I've had is, what do I do with the storage that I was using? Do I get rid of it, or do I keep it and use it because you know you're going to use it? I obviously have plenty of, you know, empty spaces over here that I was showing you, but like that little white storage unit right there, I've decided I'm using that right now for my confetti that I make out of book pages, and that'll just be the different punches that I got there. So I was doing that before, but they were just kind of sitting in bags in front of that deal, and now I've got a place to put them away. I still have lots to organize, but I feel better. I do have things I'm going to have to get rid of, like everything on this back table. You guys want any of this? Let me know. Candlesticks and other stuff. That's my I got to get rid of it table. There's a view from the other side. Okay, so I've told you everything that's great about it. Here's a couple of things, and I only mean a couple of minor things that they could fix. So one of them is how you put these shelves in. So you put these shelves in, you know, normally you've got little pegs in the peg hole and the shelves set on top of the pegs. Well, these pegs are different. You put them in there, and then there's actually 2 little areas on the peg that crimp to hold the shelf in. So you have to put the shelf in there, make sure it's inside of those 2, and then you kind of pop the other side down so that it goes into the crimps on this side. Well, I cannot tell you, there were some of these over here in these small ones where I was 10 minutes getting one shelf in, and I'm not exaggerating. it was so hard because every time you'd pop it in, one of them would roll out and go somewhere, and you'd stick it in, you'd try it another way. I'd try sticking it in this way and sticking it in this way, sticking it in that way. And then eventually it would just like magically work. But seriously, I was bleeding at one point. I was wiping blood off of this thing because there's getting your hands back there in those little tiny areas and using those tiny pegs. There ought to be an easier way. Another thing that I learned was, if you look, this is one of the 12 by 12 scrapbook size shelves. And this is like a typical one that you get at Michael's. It's the hard plastic with the lid. Well, this one is slightly larger, right? And you'll notice like it wouldn't fit in there. You have to use these. So I thought, well, no problem. I'll just put all my stuff in here. Well, there are some scrapbook pages, some scrapbook books that are different than others. As an example, do you see this extra white area? So the scrapbook page is 12 by 12, and then there's like this ½ inch more where they use it to like hang in the store. And so when you use a page like this, you usually, cut that part off before you, put this in a scrapbook or whatever. Well, when you compare that to, a regular thing, it's too big. This won't fit in the new thing. It sticks out. So I found that there were several of my books that just weren't going to fit in here anywhere. And I mean lots, not just a couple, but a lot. Luckily, and this was actually a cool thing. I'll show you what happened. I decided to keep one of my old scrapbook cases, and it holds just those ones that are too big. So not all of those have scrapbook pages in them. Some of them have templates and stuff, but I kept that one, and that's nice. But what's really kind of cool about it is, like I said, this is open all the time. This sliding, or this fly out shelf, or whatever it's called, flies out, and even flat, you can see that there's room for that case right there. So it works perfectly. Whenever I need to get to one of those scrapbooks that are in there, I just pull this forward and go there, and then pull this back. That's the trash can that Captain America bought me the other day. Isn't he a sweetheart? Anyway, over here, kind of same thing. This is a little smaller than that other one, but I have used that for a while to store some of my extra book pages, and so it fits perfectly behind this door. So there you go. It has to do with this area here where I've got all the washi tape. So the pictures that I've seen shows them putting ribbon on there. But, I've got a small thing of ribbon, just 1/4 inch ribbon. Just like you normally get when you buy a thing of ribbon. It's about, I don't know, 3-4 inches across. It's too deep. So if I put it on there, it doesn't fit. You can see it would have stuck way out, not turned. So I don't know what kind of ribbon they're using. I would have to look for it. But my ribbon is staying over here in my old falling apart, as you can see, little wrapping paper station right there. But as I said, I am a huge fan of this thing. It has really helped me organize my room. I feel like I can find things, and I feel like I've got a lot more room as I run across more stuff that I need to organize. It's very easy to say, okay, there. I think the next thing that I need to do is I need to start labeling things, because there's so many places to store things. I find myself, opening a drawer, closing a drawer. Is it in here? Opening this drawer, closing this drawer. So I may label on the outside. I don't know. I don't know if I want to put labels on it or not, but I need to put labels on it, because otherwise I'm kind of just, looking all the time for, what's in there. So anyway, that's the scrap box. I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for it. something like it.
So that's it for today. Stay tuned to Reading with Scissors for more later. Bye.